Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't going to do any video today, but I was suggested that I do one, and hopefully this will be a short one. And this time I will keep my word, ladies and gentlemen. America is done. The world is about to enter a new phase, and as I've been telling you before, Donald J. Trump will be the last president, your last president, ladies and gentlemen. Remember what I've been telling you all these years, that the first psychologist in human existence was Satan, the devil himself, the one who beguiled our first parents and made them disobey their own creator. So when you go up against your own creator, you are in trouble. And ever since then, our very essence changed completely. And we have been going downhill up until this last days of human existence as we know it. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you are an atheist, an agnostic, an atheist, you're all on the same boat, because you're not sure or you don't accept the reality that there's as scientists. Let me just say this. Let me use the scientific label, or the scientific name they give God: an intelligent designer. America, ladies and gentlemen, being the most naive nation on this planet, after having all her power have been drained away. America is the second beast. Hence, she's been under control of the Satanists, whose really nice name, because they have a thing with words, labels, and names. What do they call themselves? Freemasons. You understand? America hasn't been controlled by the Freemasons. In fact, every president that have governed in the United States has to be a Freemason. There's no and ifs or but about it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the reality of it. Take it or leave it. You can take that to the bank. America, being the second beast, is being drained. America is Babylon. And Babylon, ladies and gentlemen, has fallen, and it is falling quickly. And that's why she's being worked. Everything that you see happening in the United States have been done by design. Your presidents are puppets. They are controlled by who? By the people. I mean, it's common sense. But common sense is so obvious. Everything's in plain sight that we fail to see it. Just like as the very existence of a creator. We see it everywhere in its marvelous creations, even though it has been tainted. The air, the polluted air that we breathe, the polluted water that we drink, the fluoridated water that we drink, the chemtrails that have tainted our skies with other chemicals, barium, you name it. Ladies and gentlemen, and all the lies that they have thrown at us. America is done. As of late, out of all the states, Chicago, California, New York, out of all the states, she has chosen Minnesota. Because Minnesota was is going to go down, ladies and gentlemen. It's collapsing. Its very own government, Tampon Tim, that's what they called him, because this man is so diabolic. In fact, did you know that he was hired and awarded some kind of plaque by the Satanist Club? Ladies and gentlemen, this man is so demonic. Remember, let me just tell you this. He's part of Davos. He's part of the World Economic Forum, WEF. And obviously he's a Freemason. That's why you see politicians act so weird and so strange as this character in Minnesota is. Because they are full of demons, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot control themselves. They cannot control in the very words that they speak that come out of their mouth. Remember what he said in that debate? I talk with killers, kids killers, children's killer. Ladies and gentlemen, please. So America right now has chosen Minnesota. The devil has set its sights on Minnesota to completely collapse it. Because the very leaders that control them, that control Minnesota, such a beautiful state with great potential, of course you gotta have the devil. A man that put tampons in boys' bathroom. A man that takes pride in going against God's creation. Remember what I said. Everything that we become as a human race upon this planet is everything against God. Because the human mind is enmity against God. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, you better wake up. Do not panic. Do not be afraid. If you come to the side of God. Because America is done. Don't believe me? What is happening in Minnesota? What's happening with the forgotten Epstein files? What's happening with the disclosure of extraterrestrial beings? Okay, Project Beams, Artemis 2 going to Mars. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all distractions. While the President of the United States is creating enemy in Europe with the 10 horns that are mentioned in the Bible. Okay? America and the 10 horns, which are the European nations, NATO, are going to bump heads over Greenland. Okay? This man has set tariffs on his allies. So Wall Street will collapse. The dollar will collapse very, very soon. While he's got people in Minnesota saying what? Eyes out. Eyes out. Defending a woman who completely, without a shadow of a doubt, provoked her own death. And the devil the devil made sure that, hey, you want to be a sacrificial lamb? Here you go. And this is what it's going to bring to Minnesota. Now there's 1,500 more troops that are on standby. Paratroopers from Alaska who are used to the cold weather. Ladies and gentlemen, America is done. I told you that America was going to have troops in her cities. Here we are. So while you're all distracted with this, guess what's going to happen? Guess what Donald Trump is doing on the side? Putting tariffs, 10% tariffs on its allies, creating enemies, because America is done. Remember what I said, ladies and gentlemen. Presidents are puppets. I bet anything that, and we saw that, we got a little hint of that when power was transferred from Biden to Donald Trump. I bet you they talked about years ago. I said, before even Biden came into power, he said, listen, I'm going to create a mess. Okay? I'm going to create a mess. I'm going to open the south border. And the whole world is going to come through. And you are going to look like a hero. You being the last president of the United States before all hell breaks loose. So, of course, the news reporters are now reporting this because, remember, your news media is controlled by the CIA. That has been proven over and over again. In fact, all nations, all superpowers control their own media. And Iran, China, you name it. But yet here you are living under a veil of lies, them telling you that this is the land of the free. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no freedom. Okay? If there was freedom, after you work hard for your money, after you buy your house, they still own. You don't own nothing. Now, on the flip side of that, what is the World Economic Forum telling you? With the new reset in mind, the Antichrist system, don't worry, you won't own nothing, and you'll be happy. See how they're making a mockery out of you? Because they know they have worked humanity so good on a psychological level that they have made them stupid. Look what happened in Minnesota the other day. A couple of days ago, I think it was. Or was it yesterday? They have people going into a church. Freedom of religion, freedom of assembling. Ladies and gentlemen, it's part of the Constitution, but guess what? Okay? Only for the beast. Because remember, who is the second beast? The United States of America. The first beast is who? The Roman Catholic Church. And that has been proven in any which way imaginable that you can think of. It's beyond the shadow of a doubt for those who want to see. Do you want to see? Do you want to be unplugged from this satanic matrix that we live under? You think this is funny? So while he's got everybody distracted, and not only that, but they send a man who is the illustration of a walking demon. You think he was there by coincidence? Don Lemon? Do you think they squeezed him to the point that he said, yes, I will go? A gay man, and he pushed that too. Again, going against God, going against nature. You see what I'm saying? Oh, but they will call you what? Homophobic or whatever, homophobic or whatever. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, they have their ways with words, of which the whole world have swallowed them up and believed them. But in reality, we are living in the last day, worse than the days of Noah and Sodom and Gomorrah combined. The Bible says so. Back in Noah's time, there were giants in those days. Today, we have giants in the evil side of it. We got scientists messing up the earth. You got NASA lying to you that humanity went to and landed on a plasma called the moon. How come they haven't been back? Because their purpose was accomplished. They got you to believe the lie. That's been the point. Nothing has been truth on this earth ever since men disobey God. Everything has been a lie. In fact, that challenge that I have, that I will send you $600, I will cash up it to you. I will pay property, you however you want to send, you want me to send you the money, I will send it to you. If you send me a video or tell me of something that is true in this world, everything is a lie. You name it, from the Vietnam War, which was carried out due to a false flag event, and sometimes false flag people die. 9/11, and I thank Biden for proving that beyond the shadow of a doubt. Because if your nation was supposedly attacked by Arabs, by Muslims, why have you opened the door to them? Why did you open the border to the whole wide world? So you see the situation in Minnesota with the fraud from the Somali, that was created. Because soon they will be the new slaves. You understand? Ladies and gentlemen, please wake up. These people, America is a sinking ship. It's the sinking Titanic. Are you going to stay on it, believing the lies and shouting in the street, no justice, no peace, eyes out? You think that your words are going to make a difference? When people have technology that you don't even think exist. In fact, people's guns, even if the United States completely was armed, ladies and gentlemen, their armed would not do them any good. These people have weapons, kinetic weapons, technological weapons, wisdom that was given to them by the gods that they worship. Remember, on the dollar bill says what? In God we trust. And I tell you, and I can prove it to you, that's not the God of the Bible. That's not the real God. The one that created this planet, the stars, the moon, the seas, the plants, the fishes in the sea, the birds in the air, okay, the animals, the four-legged animals, and us, humans. That's not the God. Remember, it's a Freemasonic God. It's Satan. Because if that was the case, why would you use the money to make human sacrifices through abortion? The most cruelest and cowardice killing that a human being can do to another, because a baby cannot defend itself. In fact, sometimes it is destroyed inside the woman's womb, and it is taken out by pieces. Mostly African American women who comes from the tribe of Judah, and Latino, who also are part of the real tribes of God. For instance, the tribe of Issachar is Mexicans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please do not confuse me with the Israelites that are out there on the streets, because they preach about hating the white man. I do not hate. I love my people. I love humanity. In fact, white people will be part of the coming eternity upon this earth. Okay? They will be saved. There will be a lot of white folks that will be saved. So please do not confuse me with them. The tribe of God, G-A-D, God, are the Native Americans, Indians, but they are lost. They are doing rituals, ladies and gentlemen, on a lady that sacrificed her life, a lesbian, mind you. The tribe of God is doing rituals on the place where she was killed, on her memorial. Ladies and gentlemen, it is sad. America has gone crazy. America is about to enter a dangerous phase of cataclysm, okay, social unrest, especially once the dollar is completely destroyed. So once again, remember what I said. You buy a house, you buy a car. If you don't pay for the tabs, you are not supposed to drive the car. If you don't pay your property taxes, even if you pay the whole house up, it's never yours. Okay? When you buy things, you pay the mafia, which is the IRS, which is the Federal Reserve enforcers. They rob you blind, and you take it. So since you have taken everything, they figure that you are stupid. And one thing they love is stupid people that don't question nothing and do what they are told. It is time to wake up. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here for clickbait. I'm here for you to realize and understand what is going on. Okay? That what happened in Minnesota was done by design. Because I don't care how stupid you are or how blind you are, how you're going to let some foreign people, in this case Somalians, rob your states because of our political games that you know. I mean, I don't know if these people know. People's votes don't count. Whether it is for president, mayor, senator, governor, you are put there. Now imagine if this Tim, the governor of Minnesota, was a woman, it would have been much worse. Now you see what they never picked up a woman, put a woman up in there. Whether it's Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, that's why it was easy for me to predict that they were going to put Donald Trump back in power. Did not tell you that was going to happen. And by the way, whether you want to believe me or not, he's going to be the last president. Forget about any future elections for presidents. I saw out the window. Sure, they want the news media want to lure you to believe, to put you to sleep, to believe in all that. And YouTube commentators tell you all kinds of stuff about the importance of voting, because they are deceived. The whole world is deceived. Let me just tell you something real quick, and then I'm done. The Roman Catholic Church, ladies and gentlemen, has 2.6 billion people under its belt, including all the Protestant churches. They're all the same. The Jehovah's Witnesses, because they were all be coming back to mama. So altogether, it is 2.6. And then you got I believe it's 2.1 Islam upon this faith. Do the math. Okay? Do the math. Okay? So you got, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. You got 1.4 billion 2 billion Islamic faith people on this earth. The people that follow the Islam religion. And you got 2.6 billion people upon this planet. You do the math. That's more than half. That's more than half of the human population upon this earth. And then after that, you put another billion for the atheists, Satanists, witches, sorcerers, you name it. You're almost talking about 5 billion plus people completely deceived. The whole world is deceived because they have chosen to believe the lie. Okay? So time is up, ladies and gentlemen. You made the call. Oh, I know what some people are saying. Ruben, I don't care. I didn't ask for this life. So whatever God wants to do with this life is up to him. Let him do what he wants. I don't care. I didn't ask for this life. But guess what? You are responsible for this life. And you will need to answer for your life, like as every human being is going to have to before God Almighty, before your Creator, whether you like it or not. Please do not forget the links that I will share with you. Okay? And remember, I do this out of love. Because remember, this is not for clickbait. This is not, I do this video because I love you all. This is a more than a life and death situation. It is not funny anymore. The gig is up. Okay? It is time to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless you. You take care.